All right, it is October 27th, 2025. We are currently at level 9, risking 160 bucks a trade, and our account value is up to $764. Plus, I have some trades that I still have to carry over to this account that were taken on Bybit that were in the tune of like $100, $150. So that means we are out of our $160 risk on this challenge, we're up to around $400 to $450. So making some moves in the right direction there. So today it's Monday, so I want to take a look at what's going on for the week, what different scenarios we're looking at, excuse me, and what this latest move up means for the markets. Let's start with a little top-down analysis on Bitcoin. So we had this megaphone that we were watching. Once we topped out highs around 126,500, we saw a 2-week move down to around 103,000. So over a $20,000 move. That was with the liquidations that we've seen in the alt market, but we essentially saw the highs be taken with no follow through, and now we've seen the lows be taken with no follow through. We got the weekly candle close yesterday. Let me switch to Bitcoin here. We got the weekly candle close yesterday, so it's still an inside bar, but it's breaking bullish now, but it almost was a complete erasure of the week before. So volume wise, a little less than the week before that we had that big liquidation deal, but we did have this daily EQ we were watching that just broke bullish. So let's set an alarm on the top wick of the bull break, just as a level of interest for us. And daily uptrend. So now it's just a matter of weekly lower high, a bit around the midpoint. So we're kind of at a decision point here for Bitcoin. I'd really like to see a move towards the top of this range, or else I feel like this could be a key short area too, around 118, 119. So on the bearish side, we may look there, but overall still looking bullish with the ways that dominance is in the rest of the altcoin market. So that's the weekly, daily, 12-hour on Bitcoin is kind of a stair-step. Nice 12-hour pattern here. We're eventually looking for a 12-hour lower, a higher low, which should be marked by the hourly oversold in a healthy trend. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. I'm sticking with the kind of 4-hour right now because we're kind of tightening up an EQ here. We have just flipped the 4-hour 200, which has had some weight a few different spots. So I don't think it's a bad. It's kind of what I want to see. You have a little move down, but now we're flattening out, and it's just showing that momentum is flattening, and we're in a balanced consolidation here. So we're above this. We got green. We got the EMAs below us, so we're on the right side. We have the 4-hour uptrend intact. We're 4-hour overbought right now, and we have a lot of not as high as up here, but this looking for a move to continue like this would be ideal, like we got in the beginning of October. So Uptober didn't really happen, but neither did Downtober, honestly. As far as the move up in the beginning of the month, we bounced over 50% here. So that's another thing. The golden pocket is right above, right in kind of my short zone, which we sweep this liquidity here quickly on the 4 hours. So definitely keeping an eye out for that section and kind of see if there's any bearish reaction up there. But squeeze would also be juicy there too, towards up here. 127, I think we get above there, and all-time highs are obviously in the picture once we get up above here. And that's on Bitcoin. I'm going to actually switch to a dominant screen here so we can look at that before we go into the altcoins, and I can't find it. Okay. This is what we're looking at dominance. Still have daily uptrend intact. Just grind it on up. No real down. We need a daily downtrend for confidence. Sector wide, did get a kind of sharper pullback than I expected overnight on Sundays, which is not atypical. A lot of times you get these Sunday moves up on a lot of names and they end up being kind of traps. And that's what yesterday I had an emergency, was out at the animal hospital in the middle of the night. All this stuff, I ended up just taking profit because of that sentiment, and things were a little extended, and just saw where the dust would settle today before we get into any new heavy trades. So that's where I'm at with that. Total got a nice bounce off that. I know we were looking last week, we were testing support there. ETH dominance is the same deal as ETH BTC, which is nice. So this is why I'm saying I'm kind of looking to focus back on ETH and lessen these obscure alts, I think, in the coming days and weeks, and just trade Ethereum, because I think Ethereum dominance would come back and lead to a new all-time high, and then all of the other alts would kind of be laggards as risk moved down moved up the risk curve. Total 2 heading back up, and heading back up towards the midpoint here on USDT dominance. So we're setting an alert at the midpoint. See if we get any reaction there. The Bitcoin Gold ratio continues to bounce, and here's the lead alt hype, which I had in here, so we'll look at quick before I get into other alts. But I was looking to get into 4-hour position right here yesterday at 15 oversold, and didn't. And then they had news on a Sunday. I mean, who would have thought? News on a Sunday that they have stocks and individual names trading perps on Hyperliquid. So pretty cool news, and I think could be a catalyst for this to be a lead bull once all gets going. 12-hour bull flag in the cards. We're going to see if we can get, I don't even think we'll get to hourly oversold, but I'm going to watch for a half-hour oversold. Maybe like a 6-hour higher low. Yeah, half-hour back burner watch too. So set an alert there, and if that pops up, we will take a look at that. I'm going to flip back to the main screen here. And another name I'm trading, AVNT, had this 8-hour rider on the way down, 8-hour EQ, broke bull. Then we got another leg up yesterday. Thought this could tighten up and get another kind of clean EQ, but we didn't. We closed below, and the EMAs are starting to shift. So I'm back on the 12-hour here. So I want to see the 12-hour hold here for a 12-hour bull flag still be in the cards with the bear break, no follow through. If we start to get down here, it's not as clear. Then I'd be looking for a daily higher low off of this EMA, but I'm going to kind of let bulls prove it in that scenario. So I have a position here. You can probably see here on the bottom. It's still open. It's a little underwater, nothing crazy, but that position comes after 2 big wins yesterday on the name on AVNT of $65 and $115. So you got to think this is just a little bit of profit taken back from those gains that were locked in yesterday on this name. So like I said, we're looking for that 12-hour higher low in AVNT. Not much to do or add until that kind of proves itself, especially with this kind of structure, because you end up down here, you can take a big loss. So I wanted to at least see an hourly uptrend before I think about adding. But that's the situation I'm looking for on that name. Nice bounce at the bottom off the golden pocket. But we have to keep buying. Weekly higher low or weekly lower high is on the cards. We don't even have a daily uptrend. So before you're putting the bank at it, you got to remember that. Could easily just come back down here. YB, I am trading the hourly stair step on this name. Also had some nice trades on this one. Looking for a daily higher low. Hourly oversold, I'm guessing. Yeah, we're hourly oversold on a big stair step. So using the TCG stair step strategy here, which looks like we're looking to break here now, and hourly oversold. And then I'll look to exit some profit up here and move stop to entry and see if we can get anything else and get the daily high or low set off of that name. Weekly, new name, not much price history, which I like because there's no real sells even on the way down. It's just been off the listing lows, flush, and then sometimes these things, you look at them in a few months, especially if things get going, and you end up here, so we'll see. We'll see. It needs to prove itself. It needs the first daily uptrend ever, but I thought it was worth it on an hourly stair-step attempt. I also traded this name successfully and got some profits on it last 3 days. You can see here, $83, $8, and then these negatives here. So overall positive on the name. We have one position open on it right now. That's at $12, 2,000 YB position, which is around $1,000 position on our $700 account. So not too shabby. Zora been just consolidating sideways for 5 days here, holding daily EMA 12. Sideways. I have position, but nothing crazy. And then we have a position also in Aster. I'm going to pull over here. So Aster is a potential 12-hour inverse head and shoulders. So we didn't get the daily uptrend yet. This would be how the daily uptrend would be set if this ended up being the right shoulder. We had 12-hour EMA resistance on the way down. Kind of retesting with. I like the look of this 12-hour inverse head and shoulders. We were rejected from the daily EMA 12, so that would be another attempt at that daily EMA 12 if this were to confirm. I know I took a lot of profit off here and then let bulls kind of prove it. I wanted to see a bigger move up here before I retest, but this inverse head and shoulder setup works as well. So I've been trading this a little aggressively on the Bybit account, and I have some profits to bring over for that one. Just looking at another screen here to see if there's any other names that we want to really take a look at. Maybe this name KTA, which off the bottom, daily EQ forming, had some relative strength lately, but no daily uptrend just yet. So I set some alarms off the high day today, and I'm going to set some alarms off bear break there too. Back down the screen. And Solana and Sol ETH we can take a look at. So on the monthly, towards the highs, what would it be, a 3? Yeah, 3-month bull flag with EMA support there, kind of cup and handle look. And if we take a look at Solana against Ethereum, I think that the spotlight has I would rather play Ethereum versus Solana here based on this ratio chart, but Solana overall looks like all-time highs are also in the cards. Just not going to look at all these, but let me just look at some lead bulls. I mean, clearly ZEC has been a lead bull, and I know we had a lot of head and shoulders calls where right here, yeah, it's a little head and shoulders. It confirmed, hit exactly the technical target, and then we just continued on up. Daily EMA 12 rider. Pump's getting a little bit of pump after the news of hype. They kind of moved together a little bit. Soon, don't really trade that one. It's one of my top short candidates, so we have alerts set above some liquidity zones for some shorts. BNP continues at all-time highs. Hype is the one I already talked about. That 12-hour falling wedge. I mean, the daily falling wedge was nice. Now we have the 12-hour bull flag in the cards. Another one that could be a lead bear. Really should have got on this third pump up here. I keep on saying that, but that was showing the momentum waning, showing bulls not showing up anymore. That would have been a great short. And it was from $18. Now it's at $2.73 on MYX. Fartcoin is toasted. Then we're going to trade Fartcoin again. Never say never, but there's no reason right now to. Just looking for anything I like. I don't like any of this yet. So I'm not going over every single individual name, just looking for any setup that might be nice here. Nah, almost said maybe trade that one because it moves nicely and large moves, but there's nothing really, no clarity on Bless USDT. What a clunker QNT was. I know we traded this, it was 2023 in the fall, looking for this falling wedge, new highs, and this can happen. You gotta remember, sometimes you get these falling wedges and they get some strength, but they don't end up making new monthly highs, and then you kind of just go sideways for the next years, and there's a lot of opportunity costs if that does happen. Another one I traded a lot was Rari. This one's never going to be traded again. A lot of these are just in the gutter. I want to trade new things and hype sectors, hype names, or just Ethereum, and I'm okay with that. And I'll just size accordingly to level myself up instead of guessing on these old names when they're going to turn around. I mean, Bull's proven on name, and then it'll back on the menu for the week. But for now, I'm just going to trade newer names, Ethereum, and maybe Bitcoin too. So that's it for the quick Monday update. Like I said, we had a lot of those altcoins breaking bullish on the daily EQs. So once that happened, now we want to see follow through, multiple levels broken, and then we want to look at first 5-minute oversold for aggressive bulls. For hourly higher lows, we want to look at first hourly oversold for daily higher lows. A little more conservative, but that's what I'll be looking for in the next few days. Stock markets are continuing to grind on up. Bring QQQ over here now. And it's just been insane. IRA, new all-time highs. Cup and handle. What was it, kind of a cup and handle? I know I was looking for a cup and handle. I could say so on the 12-hour. I mean, I can call that a cup and handle, right? Cup, handle, highs, gap up, and now new all-time highs. Really clean on the weekly. May have some longer-term trend lines to look at on in here in the future. Just flip there. Something like that approaching, but those longer-term trend lines are just a guide. I think the EMA guides and price action are the best to look at, but 2020 me would be looking at these trend lines, so just kind of channeling some of my old trading habits. Anyway, that's it from me now. Kind of a calm demeanor, starting off in profit, which is nice in the week. I'm going to be protective about that, but also ready to be aggressive now that we're out of this range and these EQs are broke bullish. I'm seeing that as a sign to be aggressive and look to buy dips, but also be cautious in this area up here on Bitcoin around the 117 to 119 area, which will probably be tonight or tomorrow if we get up there. All right, have a good one.